back to Linda's Pantry. So I woke up this morning, my first day without having to be at one of my jobs. I've given up one of my jobs, so now I just have my hairstylist job and YouTube because that is a part-time job, and it's one that I absolutely adore. So I thank all of you for being there every day. And today, woke up and it's snowing, and so it's April, but that's Nevada for you. And by, I'm sure Thursday we'll be in the 70s again. So I'm going to take advantage of it, and I'm going to make a quick and simple chicken and dumplings recipe that I can have the next couple of days, but I'm also going to share it with the girls at work. And everybody's been kind of passing this recipe around, and I want to try it. So I'm going to show you chicken and dumplings my way. All right, guys, let's go make some chicken and dumplings. And if this inspires you to stay with me, go down in the description box, check out my Wild Tree website, and search for all organic, all natural products. Maybe you decide to become a rep and make some extra money. I do that as well, but it's not really, I don't consider it a job, it just happens. So, and then right next to that is my Facebook page. Let's go over and check that out and hit that thumbs up and get notification every time I upload anything. All right, guys, come on, let's go make some quick and easy chicken and dumplings. And I'm putting a healthy twist on it, so let's do it. All right, so I'm gonna make this soup, and I'm so excited. It actually snowed this morning, and now it's only about 40 degrees outside and the wind's blowing, so it really is cold. You need your winter coat on. And so what I've got here to start this off is, these are packages I get pre-packaged from Costco, and there's 5 chicken legs in there. And this is the brand I trust. It's a all-natural chicken. It is not organic, but they don't feed their chickens antibiotics or hormones, so I'm okay with that. If I can and I have access to organic, I try to buy that as well. So I've got my little 3-quart stock pot here. I was going to do this in the crock pot, but I really want to be able to stir this and get in there, and I'm home today, so I'm not going to do that. So I'm using a quart of organic chicken stock, and I buy this at Costco as well in a 6-pack of these, so 6 quarts. I think it's $10, which isn't bad. You can pay $3 or $4 for one of those. Now this is something that I normally don't cook with, but I do have this put back in my pantry, so I thought, you know, I better start rotating this through. This is a cream of chicken, but it's low sodium, so, and it is low in fat. It's only 2 grams of fat for the whole container, and they say this is, how many servings? It doesn't tell you. Half cup servings, but 2.5 servings, and each serving gets 410 milligrams of sodium. So I'm not going to add any sodium to this, because between the chicken stock and this, that's a lot of sodium. I mean, that's plenty. It's not over the top unhealthy, but I'm trying to watch it, so I'm going to have that ready to go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse this chicken off. There's a debate out there whether we need to do that or not, and I've always done it, so I'm going to do it. I also have 3 nice size ribs of organic celery and some organic baby carrots, some organic kale, garlic, a little knob of ginger that you go, what was that in the background? And then a small sprig of fresh rosemary. That's all going in this. But to begin with, we're going to get the soup, or the chicken stock part of this done. So all I'm going to do is get this chicken in there, get it on the stove, and bring it to a simmer. I'll bring you over there when I get that done. So I'm over here at the stove. I've got my chicken on, and what's going to happen is I'm going to cook this until this chicken is fall off the bone tender. And then I'll bone it. I like to do bone on just because that bone adds more flavor. This is going to simmer here once I bring it to a boil for a couple of hours. And then I'll start adding the rest of it. My vegetables, I've taken them and put them in the refrigerator in a bag. And so, but they're all prepped and ready. So I've got my rosemary right here. Hopefully you can see what I got going on. Yeah. My rosemary, boom, right there. My garlic. Now I like lots of garlic because the garlic really, as you slow cook, it mellows. So my garlic goes in. And then you gotta have, in my opinion, some fresh ginger. it just brightens the whole soup. And that's what chicken and dumplings really is. Now, a lot of old traditional family recipes only give you chicken and dumplings. But I feel like, why waste the space with no vegetables? So we're gonna do vegetables in here. Now we don't need salt because we've already got that. So I'm gonna give a healthy pinch or two of black pepper. I love black pepper in my soups. And I like black pepper in most everything. So we'll let this come up to a nice boil, and then we'll go ahead and bring you back when we're getting ready to bone this and add the rest of the stuff together. And then I'm debating whether I'm going to make my own dumplings or I'm going to use the ones I have in the refrigerator, but we'll see how I do. I'm in the throes of cleaning as well, so we're going to go ahead and I can't wait. Homemade chicken soup of any kind is absolutely delicious. So there you go. I'll be back. All right, you guys, I am going to get this chicken out because it is ready to go. And then I can add my other ingredients to this. So this has been just rocking and rolling over here. And the nice thing about having cast iron, enamel coated cast iron, is it retains the heat so well. You can see how now it's kind of calmed down a little bit now that the lid's not on there. But these are fall apart tender. They're kind of pulling back from the bone now. Whoops, trying to show you. Slippery. So they're pulling back away from the bone. And I use the legs. They aren't quite as fatty as the thighs, but they still have that delicious dark meat flavor. You could use chicken breast. If I'd have had those available this morning, I would have done that. But I love, this is my favorite cut of the chicken. So I just set that aside to let that cool. And then I'll take the skin off and bone it. And look at, we've got this beautiful stock in there. Okay, now we've got room for vegetables and that creamy soup that we opened already. We put it in the refrigerator because I'm kind of weird like that. Make sure it's okay. I probably should have waited to open it, but so I have to get out a skinny spatula here. And remember, this is the low sodium, low fat cream of chicken. So this is going to make this a creamy mixture. And usually, in the past I've done it for you, I have not used a, you know, kind of a already prepared product. But I think it's a good idea to get some things out of my pantry that are in there. I got to rotate. So now I'm going to, so I don't waste any of that soup, I'm going to put some of that hot stock right there in the can, and then swish that around. Whoops, make a mess. Then you got to clean it up. Swish that around and grab any of the extra. All right, I think we're good. And then we're gonna go ahead and get our whisk in here. Gosh, it smells wonderful. And you want to whisk up that soup a little bit. Yum. And I guess you could use 2 cans, but I'm not going to. I'm going to leave it like this because the I can always thicken it if I want it thicker. I don't think I do want it thicker. I think I'm going to leave it be. The starch from the pasta or the dough, the dumpling dough, will thicken this. So, but I am going to add a shot of cream because I think it'll add another element of really good, creamy, delicious. And look how pretty now that looks good. Woo! Okay. And then we're just going to let the vegetables simmer in here. I put them in a plastic bag, just a Ziploc storage bag, so I could have them back in the refrigerator. And I'm just going to dump those in. See how easy it is when you prep your stuff ahead of time? It's just a chop and drop. Okay, and once again, hopefully my arm's not in the way every time I do that. Oh, looks delicious. So you've got the light green, the dark green, the orange. We're gonna put the chicken in there here in a minute, and I can't wait. So I started boning these chicken legs, and I thought, you know, I remember when my daughter first got married and really didn't have an idea of how to do this kind of stuff. And I watch a lot of young people when I go to the grocery store and I'm shopping. When it's a relaxed day, I can kind of people watch a little bit as I go, and I see people and the choices they make for food is kind of disheartening, because they'll choose something very expensive that's prepared by somebody they don't even know in maybe a kitchen or a factory that they don't even know, and they're paying 2, 3, 4 times as much as necessary. And so really, this is as easy as it is. Now, can you do this off of a whole chicken? Absolutely. And at some point I will bone a whole chicken for you guys as well. At first, you know, it looks kind of daunting, and but this is how I grew up. We didn't buy parts and we didn't get things prepared. So I'm just taking that skin off. Any cartilage or anything like that is going in the bowl. And this is nice because I get all the flavor of the dark meat, but I don't get as much fat as the thighs would render for this dish. And I tasted the broth, and holy cow, it is delicious. So this is a winner chicken dinner in my book. And you could do this totally from food storage. I have chicken that I've put back that I can use for this. You just have to have the stock. So again, any of that skin and cartilage, put that in the bowl. And I'm using a glove because, first off, I don't think, even though my hands are clean, I don't really want them all dummied up with chicken. And these gloves, I actually can wash my hands with those on in between video takes if I need to, and you know, all the good things. I don't do it because I'm trying to be more sanitary necessarily. I just really don't enjoy having my hands in the meat. So, all right, and this actually puts a lot of meat out, and it's pull apart tender, like pulled chicken. You know, we braise this, and I'm going to bring you back when it's time to add it back to our pot. All right, so now I've got all my chicken, and this rendered at least 2 cups of chicken for 5 of those chicken legs. And got that all boned. That doesn't take long, and it gives a nice hearty, chunky feel to this. So for 3 quarts, you can easily feed 3 to 4 people, depending on what you were doing with your dish. So I'm gonna grab my spoon here. Look at that. Now I'm gonna add some dumplings in as soon as my vegetables are fork tender. And I'm just gonna give a little test on the carrot here. Oh, yeah. That is fork tender and delicious. Okay, so I can add some dumplings in. And like I said earlier, I'm going to go ahead and use the ones that I have here in the freezer. All right, now it's time to add our dumplings, or to me, they're noodles. It's a pasta dough kind of thing. I have always made more of a biscuit batter or biscuit dough and dropped biscuits, but I like this too. And these I bought in the freezer section, and they come in long strips. I cut them like my mom would roll these out and make these. These don't rise up or get as puffy as my mom's. I've shown you how to do those in past videos, so I think there's a turkey and dumplings. There's a couple, you know, well, there's chicken and dumplings recipe on my channel. And so this is the way I'm doing it today. So I had to kind of put these, because they were really stuck together hard, in the freezer. So I'm glad I'm using them because I don't want to waste them. I'm putting these in. You want your soup or whatever you're doing to be at a boiling stage because they need to boil. And if it's not boiling, then you could end up with them sticking to each other. That boiling will keep them separated. And ooh, doesn't that look delicious? I can't wait for dinner. So, and this, like I said, this is enough for 3 or 4 people easily. And it cost me nothing, really. A couple cups of vegetables and some, if you made this dough yourself, pennies, and then some stock, you know, for, I would say, well, that chicken was $1.19 a pound, which is kind of expensive in my book. And then I just kind of eyeball how my soup looks. Is that going to be enough of the dumplings, or do I need more? So I'm going to go ahead and cut off some more. And like I said, the starch from this will thicken this even more. And I don't want it any thicker. And I will tell you, the broth on this is absolutely fabulous. I'm really, really happy with the flavor. So between the stock and that chicken noodle, or that cream of chicken soup, whew, baby, that's some good stuff. And then the natural stock from the chicken. All right, guys, so we've got the end result of this chicken and dumplings recipe, and it smells and so good in here, I can't even tell you. And I just can't wait to dive in. So I'm gonna bring this over with my new pot holders so I don't get burned. They're just awesome. Thank you so much, Haley. Anyways, I hope you see this video. I also have a very cute apron that I need to wear that's was a gift as well. So I'm gonna set this over. Now what I've got is some pretty decadent garlic bread, and I'll show you how I make my garlic bread in a different video, but for right now we're going to do this, and we are going to get this dished up. Take that lid off, and ooh, steamy, delicious, homemade chicken and dumplings. And how good does that look? The broth is thick, but it's not too thick. It's absolutely perfect because we want it to be able to for the bread to soak up some stuff. So let's get you a little bit closer and let's see what we got in here, because oh, it's gonna be fabulous. I can't wait. Okay. And this is a pretty big bowl. I'm not gonna need this full, that's for sure. I'm not a really big eater. Just like a lot of flavor, that's all. But if I was making this for someone else, I would certainly dish them up a big bowl. My husband could eat 2-3 bowls of this easily. And so let's look and see how pretty that looks. Oh, doesn't that look gorgeous? I just love this. You guys, I get so excited about how good this is going to taste. I can't even tell you. It just smells amazing. And I've already tasted the broth, so I'm excited because I know what's going to be in store for me. And so what I like to do with the bread is to just kind of serve it with maybe a couple of these on the, you know, sticking out here. They can sop up some of that delicious broth, and there you go. All right, guys. I'm going to take a bite of a breadstick really quick. These are crispy. Wow. Those are good. You'll have to stay tuned because I'll do a video on that for you. They're super easy, but they just make any meal a little bit extra special. And like this one, it just makes it feel a little more homemade. Even though I didn't make the bread from scratch, I made this beautiful garlic bread. And so on this bite, I'd like a little bit of everything. I want some carrots and celery, chicken and kale, and a piece of the dumpling and or pasta. To me, that's really all it is a pasta. So we'll take a bite and let you know how that comes out. It's so hot. Oh my gosh. That is phenomenal. On this last of the snowy and cold days we have, this is absolutely delicious. I hope that this inspires you to come back. I truly hope it inspires you to maybe make your own version of a chicken and dumpling recipe and share it with your friends. Share it with us on Facebook and YouTube. If you haven't started doing videos, I encourage you to do it. It's a great hobby. It's very fun, and it's a great community out there, guys. I love all of you. So, that being said, if you like this, give me a thumbs up. If you really like it, go ahead and share it on your Facebook page because somebody's going to really want to have this for dinner. Delicious. Oh my gosh. So good. And I really like the kale in there. I love the soup edition. So there you go. That's my edition of chicken and dumplings. A little different. All right, guys. I'll see you next time. God bless.